A water prohibition comes into effect Monday in an effort to keep taps from running dry. The deadline for Barbadians to get the new Trident ID card extended. The Safety and Health at Work Act strengthened. And in sports, the Windies Academy win the opening fixture of the Headley Weeks Tri-Series.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Current drought conditions and predictions of dry months ahead have prompted government action to try and ensure there is no disruption to the flow of potable water through the taps across the island. A new restriction was announced during a post-cabinet media conference this morning. Crystal Hoyt has those details.
A Barbados water prohibition will be in effect come next week. Government says it's part of a proactive effort to conserve water. This follows data collected by the Barbados Water Authority projecting major challenges with meeting the demand for potable water due to a 40% decrease in rainfall and current drought conditions. However, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport, Works and Water Resources Santia Bradshaw is making it clear Barbados is not currently in crisis. She says the administration is simply putting measures in place to conserve the island's water resources.
Effective Monday, the 24th of April until June 30th of this year, we are prohibiting the use of potable water for the irrigation or watering of gardens, lawns, and grounds by hose or by sprinkler systems. Also prohibited is the filling or supply of tanks, ponds, baths, or swimming pools, other than for dipping tanks for cattle, domestic baths not exceeding 120 litres or 32 gallons in capacity, and elevated reserve tanks not exceeding 800 litres or 211 gallons in capacity and connected to household sewerage or water supply systems. We've also prohibited washing roadways, pavements, paths, garages, rooms, or vehicles by hose. Also, prohibition is on the washing of windows and building exteriors.
BWA General Manager Keith Roy Halliday says as a result of Barbados's aging infrastructure, it continues to lose upward of 40% of its water. He adds, however, that the solution is both time-consuming and costly.
We have to start with replacement of pipes. Those pipes means particularly that are leaking the most, those are the ones we need to tackle. And you would have seen over the last 2 years there's been an aggressive, if not certainly an increase in our mains replacement program. We would have dealt with the issues chiefly on the east in terms of augmenting the water supply and replacing many of those mains. Right now in the north, St. Kitts and St. Lucie, we're going ahead full steam to make sure that we replace as many of those mains as we can.
As it relates to the prohibition, the penalty for failure to comply is $500 or 1 month in prison. Full details will be released in the official Gazette. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
It was also at that post-cabinet media conference that we heard workers in Barbados have been given further protection under the Safety and Health at Work Act. It comes through a clarification of what constitutes a dangerous task which any employee can refuse to do. Minister of Labour, Social Partnership Relations and the Third Sector Colin Jordan says the vagueness within the Act had caused some issues. He says now a number of terms have been defined and this will help avoid misinterpretations.
Serious physical harm means severe damage to a part of the body, whether or not reversible, to the extent that incapacity could result. So we're giving some form to concepts that would allow for a proper application of this part of the Safety and Health at Work Act in the workplace, because the workplace is where these things become issues, not in Parliament and not in Cabinet.
Well, police officers, healthcare workers, those dealing with children or those involved in the operations of a facility for people with disabilities are among those who are now exempt. Barbadians will be given even more time to make the switch to the new Trident ID card. This was confirmed by Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley as officials kicked off another round of Parish Speaks in St. Joseph. Sharika Griffith has the details.
For more than 2 hours, St. Joseph residents had a chance to ask questions as well as voice their concerns to a team of officials led by Prime Minister Mia Motley. The Corsi holder expressed concern about the June 30th deadline, after which the current ID cards would cease to be valid.
I have an old mother home who is 94 years old, suffering with dementia, cannot hear, and cannot move around. But yet still I'm hearing that the 30th of June is the deadline for ID cards.
However, while revealing 140,000 cards had been distributed so far, Prime Minister Motley disclosed the deadline, which had already been extended from March, would once again be postponed.
No stress, because we're going to have to extend the date. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the supplier of the cards as well is not in a position to deliver any more cards for us before the end of May, it is, or June, I can't remember.
Ms. Motley also announced plans in the coming weeks to ask Barbadians to volunteer to become community landscaping champions and help with the maintenance at schools across the island.
Then we are in a position to make sure that every school appears to be an oasis where learning can take place and where people's spirits can be refreshed, from teachers to students to parents. So we are going to be reaching out, and we will have competitions. Eventually, every November, I propose to introduce a Prime Minister's Prize for the best landscape and kept maintained schools at primary and secondary, and those prizes will not be insignificant.
Residents also raised challenges with the bus service.
Because if you miss the 9 o'clock bus, you should never ever have to wait until midnight to get a bus to get home, because Sugar Hill people is people too.
To that point, Chief Operations Officer of the Transport Board, Linda Holder, admitted the board is still being hampered by insufficient buses, even with the addition of 49 electric vehicles. She, however, committed to working to better serve the passengers, including sending TAP buses with a larger carrying capacity. And Member of Parliament for St. Joseph, Dale Marshall, provided an update on the 10B development, which has been a source of contention for some residents. He said the parties involved are trying to negotiate a settlement.
What it will require is for mature heads to sit down, see what we can agree on, see what we don't agree on, and try to find the middle ground so that we eliminate friction and we eliminate waste. There is a development on that location. There is going to be a development on that location. The individual already has town planning permission, and this government, we don't have any capacity in law to stop him. And if we tried, there's no doubt that we will be facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
Concerns about the condition of some roads prompted officials to reveal a shortage of stones due to a mechanical issue was hampering the installation of gabions. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Sharika, thank you. We'll have more news coming up after this break. All is set as Barbados prepares to host the 4-day Pan-American Standards Commission, or COPANT, General Assembly. Over 100 delegates from the Americas and other countries across the globe are to participate in the event, scheduled to take place from Sunday until April the 26th. 54 delegates will attend the high-level meeting in person, including the Secretary General of the International Organization for Standardization and President of COPANT, while the others will participate virtually. The official opening ceremony and 3 days of discussion will be held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Acting Director of the Barbados National Standards Institution, Hayden Rind, says the high-level discussion is important as it provides opportunities to engage with global standards experts in areas of interest.
During the meeting, members will discuss future plans to promote cooperation for the development of standards and conformity assessment procedures according to international practices in the Americas. And this allows, of course, for opportunities for the exchange of knowledge, technical assistance, and the sharing of experience among members. Additionally, the hybrid event will offer multiple forms of engagement and networking, both on site and online. The General Assembly of COPANT coincides with BNSI's 50th anniversary celebrations, which will be highlighted during the period. We'll have a dinner. We are also going to have awards at a ceremony.
A 10-week program rolled out by the Men's Empowerment Network is helping to shape young males into well-rounded men. The initiative involves several activities that are taking place in the National Botanical Gardens. Trevor Thorpe reports.
64 boys between the ages of 11 and 18 years are enrolled in the program, and founder and president of Men's Empowerment Network, Fabian Sargent, said the idea is to engage young boys before they reach manhood.
This activity here today is just one where they were taught how to make kites, and then they're flying the kites that they made. They're going to have a little competition. They're also going to engage in some traditional Bajan activities, worry, kneel down cricket, these things that were all a part of our historical being as young Bajan men.
The initiative is to help youngsters develop interpersonal skills lost through today's lifestyle changes.
Technology has taken toll of our young people, and they're all involved. They're in front of computers. They've lost their skills, these interpersonal skills, and we're here now to really help these boys to regain those necessary skills for them to start re-engaging at a real interpersonal level. And on top of that, to develop other skills like team building, self-confidence, self-esteem, and then they learn the skills of making kites and playing cricket and all these things that we, as traditional Bajan men, used to know as boys.
The official gave some background to the thinking behind the target age of the initiative.
Adolescence is a phase where they are going through most of their psychological, biological, and emotional changes within their life. They're changing rapidly. A lot of them do not understand what's going on in their bodies. I find that parents are finding it challenging to connect with these boys as adolescents, as youngsters, where they're not becoming young men. They're asking you why. They didn't used to ask why before. They never used to question you before. And they just usually think that if a child gets asked why you're being rude, if you use a man in here, it's just that they're developing their own identity, and we are trying to hold their hands along with their parents' hands and bridge the gap to help them through this whole adolescent phase.
The youth development official said a national parenting program is in the works as a follow-on to the current initiative.
We do have, as I said, we work with parents. We are rolling out. We have parenting programs where we have parent workshops that are facilitated by some very phenomenal facilitators, namely persons like Tony Walton and the Cecil group. On top of that, we do individual counseling and family therapy. But immediately after Safe Zone, we are hoping to roll out a major national parenting program at some point for a lot of these parents that are experiencing challenges. And I really want to thank the Ministry of People's Empowerment and Elder Affairs for really coming on board and supporting this initiative. And they thought that was a worthy cause, and I really want to thank them for their support and all the other sponsors who have contributed significantly to these events.
It is a men's program and will run for 10 weeks, but the officials say it will be extended for 1 year and are calling on men to step up to the plate and assist with the initiative. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
5 new professors have been named at the University of the West Indies. They are Dr. Avril Williams, who was promoted to Professor of Supramolecular Chemistry and Nanotechnology at the Cayfield campus; Dr. Donovan Campbell, Professor of Environmental Geography, the Mona campus; Dr. Sanjay Budar Singh, Professor of Power Systems and Sustainable Energy at St. Augustine campus; Dr. Sandra Reed, Professor of Public Health Psychiatry, the St. Augustine campus; and Dr. Mark Woodavera, Professor of Agri-Environmental Soil Physics at St. Augustine. UWI says the 5 experts are among the world's best in the fields of electrochemistry, climate change, renewable energy, mental health, and agricultural research. It says their excellence in teaching and research and their notable contributions to UWI activism have warranted their promotion to the institution's highest academic rank. Well, Barbados has lost its first cabinet secretary who served in the post-colonial period. Sir Frank Milton Blackman passed away yesterday. He worked in the capacities of cabinet secretary for 20 years from 1966 to 1986. Head of the Civil Service and Ombudsman from 1987 to 1983. In recognition of his outstanding career in the civil service and contribution to its development, Sir Frank received several awards, including an unprecedented 2 knighthoods from Queen Elizabeth II and the then Governor-General. During her tribute, Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley hailed him as a leading light in the public service, worthy of emulation by other officers. Ms. Motley extended condolences to his wife and family on behalf of the government and the people of Barbados.
Sports Night is brought to you by Powerade. Feel the power. And Dasani Water. Connect mind and body.
Gather around, everyone. Time for us to get into sports now. Here's Damien Best.
Well, both table leaders Weymouth Wales and second place Britons Hill maintained their positions in the BFA Premier League standings with contrasting victories last night. In a doubleheader at the Turf, Britons Hill came from behind to beat Deacons 2-1 and stay on 19 points, while Wales thrashed bottom place Abrams United Silver Sands 6-2 to move to 24 points. Thursday night in the Premier League opening fixture, Britons Hill versus Deacons. 24th minute, beautiful through ball to pick out Shaquan Haynes. He must finish the job and does. Deacons on the score sheet first, 1-0. Britons Hill had a gazillion chances to level and perhaps build a healthy lead. Case in point, after all that hard work, look at the space and time for the header, and the end result wasted. Deacons smiling at the break. Second half started like the first. Britons Hill went in circles around the Deacons defense, but this time the goalkeeper averts the danger at point blank range. Something had to give. 63rd minute, Corey Hoyt with one defender to beat. Goalkeeper tries to make life difficult, too late. Hoyt finally has the equalizer. It's 1-1. Where would the winner come from? 75th minute, Britons Hill down the left. Cross comes in. Romel Bino surrounded by 3 defenders. A mere guard of honour. The golden header to secure 3 points. Britons Hill 2, Deacons 1. Second fixture of the night, table leaders Weymouth Wales in green pitted against bottom place Silver Sands. 3rd minute, handball in the box. Penalty come in. Romario Harewood for the lead, denied by the goalkeeper, but the rebound is drilled home. Fortunate. Silver Sands will feel unlucky. Well, we know how the story would go from here. Silver Sands totally deflated, and Harewood, well, they won't come any easier. Shambolic defending. That's 2-0. A hat trick was on the cards, but in between that, Nadre Butcher had enough space and time that he could toy with his opponents. Pulls the trigger at his whim and fancy. 3-0 to Wales. Surprisingly, Silver Sands cut the deficit to 2, pressuring the wing-back and winning possession. Link up with Anthony Bourne was excellent, side-footed home. Silver Sands 1, Wales 3. Well, it was quickly back to normal programming. 5 minutes later, Harewood on show. Shakes 1, then 2. Left foot, hat-trick secured. Wales 4-1 up at half-time. Switch of ends, skip ahead, 49th minute. More service on a platter for Wales and some primary school defending. Arantes Lawrence, a kid in a candy shop. That's 5-1. Against the run of play, Silver Sands, 4 against 2. The defender and goalkeeper not on the same page. Rakobi Lewis says, I'll have that. 5-2 now. Then in time added on, Wales would put the icing on the cake in the 91st minute. Virginash Janai. Wales' unblemished season continues. They win 6-2 over Silver Sands.
In the world of business tonight, more small contractors are on the road benefiting from government contracts slated for road works. News of this as Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has unveiled plans for a major overhaul of government's procurement process. Describing it as a deconstruction of procurement, Ms. Motley says there's enough road work to go around and explains it will help to speed up the road improvement program.
Barbados has hundreds of millions of dollars of road works to do because of the absence of road works for a decade, pretty much. But it can't go in the hands of only 2 companies. And not all roads are highways. The government and its depots will handle the tenantry roads, the small roads, so that people don't have to walk out with 2 bags and 2 pairs of shoes. But there are roads half a kilometer, 1.5, up to 2 kilometers, residential areas, small roads. Build the capacity so that you have people capable of responding.
Prime Minister Motley also gave an update on efforts to provide better accommodation and spaces for vendors to ply their trade.
We've done it in Fairchild Street. We ain't talk about it. The Butcher's Block, I hope, will soon be finished, because that will be a major accomplishment, because we recognize that the public health of the nation also matters. And when we leave there, we are doing River Bus Stand, as I told you. What they tell me is Georgetown and Kingstown. And we are also doing Temple Yard.
Well, the Prime Minister also broke the news as she gave her support to a new initiative of the National Transformation Initiative dubbed Growing Together, being sponsored by Barbados Bottling Company and Coca-Cola Caribbean. The small business online training program is now live and will see 1,000 traditional trade customers and 500 itinerant vendors being trained in several areas. NTI Director Dr. Alison Leacock says each training cohort will be for 4 weeks with hour-and-a-half-long sessions.
The first module, small business ownership and being a micro-entrepreneur. The second module, enhancing my business through customer service. The third, small business finances. The fourth, attracting customers and generating value for my business. The fifth, applying innovation for business growth. And the sixth and final module, naturally, refreshing the world and making a difference. Compliments of the Coca-Cola Caribbean system, and that is going to be a self-directed module.
Well, you can find more information on the NTI's website. We're hearing tonight there have been no rail issues associated with the 2023 sugar harvest, which has reached the halfway stage. Chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industries Limited, Mark Seeley, told the Business Report kudos must go to the engineering team at Port Vale Factory.
It's gone pretty well. We're at 63,000 tons for the whole industry. That includes BAMC at the moment, and I believe that the estimate is around 107,000 to 110,000 tons. Last year was only just over 91,000 tons. So, if we can deliver that, then it would definitely be significant improvement over last year.
The Sugar Industry Limited official admitted there were more cane fires this year, but all stakeholders are working together on the harvest.
And I know that BMC are also working hard in their various areas, etc. So I would think probably another month to a month and 10 days. We should be closing crop. So just before the end of May or early June.
Another look at sports with the best man for sports, Damien Best.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Some basketball news now. Station Hill Cavaliers and Burger King Clapham Bulls were in winners' row when the Cooperatives General Insurance BABA Premier League resumed last night at the Barbados Community College Gym. Led by a game-high 31 points from captain Saeed Norville, Cavs brushed aside Lakers Sports Club 103-86 after leading 54-41 at halftime. The John Hunt chipped in with 19 and Brandon Ruck added 17 points. For LSC captain Keith Burkitt poured in 22 points and Anand Joseph Thorne 14. Meanwhile, Bulls had an easy time against Smart Assurance City United Celtics in a one-sided matchup. Here's a look at that contest. BABA Premier League back in full swing. This is Clapham Bulls in red playing City United Celtics, first of a doubleheader. Celtics on the board. That's Tyrell Clark finishing the drive. for 2 of his 11 points. Well, the Bulls starting 5 activated after that bucket, and captain Raheem Gibbons spots up for the triple. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 of 9 from beyond the arc. The Clapham boys were up by 19 points after 2 quarters of action. Celtic slow in transition defense, and Theron King living the good life in the paint. Easy too. Had a game high 22 points and shot 73% from the field. In fact, everybody chipped in with 6 players in double figures. The Bulls heading into the break 49-30. Manuel Alang with the easy putback. Second half business. Bulls moving the rock nicely. Corner pocket. Gibbons locked and loaded. That's another 3. Celtics needing some answers. Bulls stretching their lead to 31 points heading into the fourth. Captain Stevenson Canada mid-range, got it. 10 points to his credit. Who else wanted their name in the headlines? Richard Payne, cool as ever. Down broad straight, flips it up and in. Joint high score of 22 points. But that was never going to be enough as the Bulls sped away to win handsomely, 95-57 over the Celtics.
That's our news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Good night.
Thanks for visiting us. Now, if you want to see more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always go to cbc.bb for the latest news and current affairs.